Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. Today we're talking about a game that I try so hard to love, but unfortunately, there's some technical difficulties that'll keep my heart away, but we'll get more into that. Today we're talking about Drunkn Bar Fight, a game that's been on the Oculus Quest store since, September 12th, 2019. I'll explain all this stuff before I get carried away, because sometimes I skip this. The developer is made by the Munky. It's currently rocking a 4.0 overall on the official MetaQuest store with 3,204 total ratings and 1,906 written reviews. So it's a game a lot of people have clearly experienced. It's been around for a while. It's got an interesting concept. It's just as the title says, it's pretty self-explanatory. Drunken bar fight. You go in and you fight people drunk in a bar. I mean, what's not to love, right?
No, you're not technically. I don't think you're drunken really unless you put down the beers in the game. But when you said it's a game you want to love, I totally agree. It's a game I want to love more than anything. It just doesn't love me. So I mean, I've owned it for over a year and haven't had really many problems with the single player other than like janky arms now and then. But for some reason, the when we play together, it's the problem has never gone away.
No, it's again, if you want to play this game single player and you want to sit there and drink virtual beers like you alluded, you're not drunk the whole time at all, but there are beers and other beverages of alcohol you can drink during the fights that get your screen all woozy. Sometimes I'll Stone Cold Steve Austin them with, double fist and pour it in. But geez, you do multiplayer, and if you're lucky, in our experience, if you're lucky, you'll get into the same room and you'll be able to do 2 or 3 different rounds or maps, and then all hell breaks loose from there. Good luck from there.
Yeah, I think the most we've ever been able to do together is three different ones,
Yeah, we
which
had
is kind of sad because it's like, again, we've owned it for over a year and we keep going back to it like every 2, 3 months. Like, okay, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. And then this last time, um, I even talked shit because I was like, hey, we're on like our record map here. We're on like map 3.
yeah, we're like, did they
And then
update? Like, oh my
And
god.
then we went to do another one of the rooms, and we'll get into the description of what these rooms exactly are that we're complaining about. But go into like a third one, and then just stuck at the loading screen.
Yeah, it's
Little thing
it's
just
always
spinning
one of
around
us.
and around and around. Yeah.
One of
Then you
us will
literally
get
have to
into the
quit the
room.
whole game. You can't just like go to a home screen. No, you have to quit the game and then go back into it and then start the whole process of inviting your friend again. And it's just been pretty frustrating.
Sometimes even after it crashes for one person and we go to invite back in, it's like it takes several tries before we can even get back in. It's like you have to put so much effort into playing the game that it becomes very demotivating. Usually by the second crash, it's like, all right, different game, we're done.
Yeah,
It's
for single player, it's like I said, it's never been I haven't had an inability to play or choose any of the different rooms I want to go fucking bar fight in. But for some reason, with the multiplayer, it just doesn't work for us. And they say you can have up to 4 people, and I hear that, and I'm like, I wouldn't even try it. I'm like, you're crazy.
one time one time we did have 2 random people join
Yep.
us. Uh and again, it worked for like two or three rounds. For some reason we accidentally left our room open, and it was weird. One guy was like wicked small. It was pretty goofy. But like, if you ask me, a game like this shines in multiplayer because you're just
Well, yeah,
beating up random
it's
people.
the most fun, and you're laughing the most. And I mean, to set the scene, I mean, imagine you're in a bar, and there's music playing on a jukebox, which you can turn off or change the radio stations. They got the pool cues and beer bottles everywhere, guitar sitting there, and there's a bunch of people at the bar chilling, and you can hear all the conversations, some of which are like deliberately annoying conversations. And when you've had
It's
enough,
absolutely silly.
you can walk over with a beer bottle and smash it over someone's head, or just punch someone, or grab them and then routinely punch them, like, give me the money. Give me the
Whack
money.
other people with the person you're holding.
Oh yeah, ragdoll 'em. I mean, it's when it's fun as hell. It's just where it bums me out is if 50% of the game is being able to do it with your friends, then for the past year, and like dude, we've waited so long to want to review this because it's like we both really wanted it to work so well, and for some reason, it's just not. It's underperforming in the co-op department, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's just right off the store description, there's 6 different levels. You know, there's 2 bars, a supermarket, a police station, and then a street alley. Which
Like a
honestly, the
back alley.
supermarket
Yeah,
is probably my
going
my
there and riot.
favorite. Yeah, dude, there's some heavy duty, you know, mess people up stuff in the supermarket, but they,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
nail
off.
guns and
Oh my god! In the police
paintball
station,
guns.
there's some explosives too and some guns, but I think we caused our most like havoc in the supermarket. But you
That
know,
was my most fun
I
for
I
sure
I,
with the co-op. Definitely the grocery store or the
I wasn't
supermarket,
expecting
whatever
that.
it is.
I
No,
wasn't expecting that.
no. I
There's
thought the bar would be more the bar or the back alley. And then they
yeah
have a wedding on like a penthouse that
yeah at the
you
top,
can
and you
rough
can
up.
throw people off the top of it.
And if you have gender issues with slugging someone of the opposite sex, then this game isn't for you because that other person's gonna fuck you up. So if you're like, I'll never hit a woman, it's like you better look at her because
That woman's gonna knock you out.
she's squared up and she's all got the shoulders tucked up and she's coming at you like fighter
Talking
style.
shit.
Like, yep, like you're gonna plant one right in the kisser. Whap. It did. I mean, yeah, the first time I didn't know like fighting was not optional. Once you hit that one person, it's like everybody in the bar, and then a small amount of continuous patrons are going to pour in to throw you an ass beating. But you can
and like
pick everything around you's totally grabbable
yeah,
and
and it's not like
usable.
anybody's really difficult to beat. It's like a couple shots, they're down. It's really goofy physics. You can just pick them up in like
Goofy shit
helicopter
talk.
360. Yeah. And on the store page, it says there's 110 different weapons, which is
Yeah.
good. I'm glad they have the exact number written because I'm playing it and I'm like, how many freaking there's a you
I wouldn't even if I mean if you asked me to guess like hey how many weapons you think are in there I probably would have said 40 or 50 maybe. So
no
I
there
was pretty blown away with the amount that they actually have.
yeah, and see it while you're playing. It's like you go to a different area and it's whole different, you know, grabbable items and usable items. And there's 50 different enemies. It's funny. The store page is actually hilarious for this game. They call them like that. There's some Karens, there's some incels, there's a open carry grandfather who lost his grand. Like what in the world?
This game
But
is so
you know,
woke, man.
but the thing is, then you play it, and it's like these characters are actually like you could see those descriptions. You'll see them just based off of what they're saying, the way they look. So there's a wide variety of people, I guess, to kick their ass in wide creative ways. Uh, it, man, I wish it worked
Yeah,
because
I
it's
mean
fun.
again, I it's fun playing single player just to I mean especially for like a first time VR experience or someone relatively new. I mean you're going to get some really good laughs, but to do it with somebody, man, the little time that we've been able to get it to function has been so friggin' fun. It's like I just want it to work. I want to see an update that's like, hey, we're aware of this multiplayer issue and we're on it. We've got this fixed. But I haven't, like I said, the other night, 3 games was the best we've ever done.
Yeah, and like, dude, I was 3 games. We were celebrating. We were like, oh my god, you know, I'm so
Yeah, I was
glad we
talking
waited to
shit.
now to review. You know, it's like maybe they
I jinxed it.
updated. This is a game changer. We can actually have it. And then poof, then we went up
I
to the
jinxed it.
penthouse, and then nope, done,
Yeah, we
done.
wanted to go to the back alley after the penthouse and it just didn't work.
but there's been times that we haven't even been able to get into the first bar together or anything. And it's not like you
No.
have to do the bars or anything in any order. It starts you when you load into the multiplayer room, you know, and you can just walk into whichever level you want. There's a bar in front of you, another bar to the left, the back alley to the left, the elevator to the penthouse, you know, right on the right. Across the street is the grocery store. Then there's the police station on the other street. It's you just walk to where you want. But there's been times that
Yeah,
we
you
get
don't
into the
have to.
room
You're not
together.
walking far either. You walk like 10 feet, and
Yeah, the
it pretty
most.
much knows like that's where you're going.
But yeah, there's been times that we load into that walking area together, and then we go into whatever the first area we want to play is, and can't even do one level. You know, so 3 levels was definitely a big celebration for us.
Yeah, enough that I was again talking shit. Like, hey, this is the farthest we've ever made it. Like without one of us having to restart. And then the very next level, when it was like, all right, well, I'll do one more. Let's go into the alley. Because again, when it's fun, it's fun. But it just
Yeah, I
when I
even
have
bought
to, if I
this.
have to quit, if I have to quit and then reload in, I think I'm good to do it once. And I even say it like, all right, I'll try one more time. And then even the time I reloaded in, it still didn't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like once you crash, it's all hell breaks loose. Good luck.
Yep. So usually I shelf it for a month
And
and be like, hey, you want to try it? Let's give it a whirl. Because again, when it's fun, it makes me laugh like a motherfucker.
yeah, it's $17 and they've sold a lot. I gotta think the developers have made a good chunk off of it, especially being on multiple different VR systems. It's like it's just a damn shame it doesn't. I mean, we can't be the only one who has this multiplayer issue either.
I haven't read an onslaught of complaints about that. I've read some other things that I haven't experienced, but again, I probably my biggest quirk is just the inability to do that. Everything else
Yeah.
about the game I really like.
Hmm.
It's fun.
There's
It's I
some
guess you could say it's very stress relieving because you're
you're just pounding people.
going into a bar or a back alley and just starting shit and have
Well,
enough
look,
of it listening to people talk and
there's a couple of these battle simulator games. Like Gorn, Blade and Sorcery, Gladius. There's a couple of them, but all of them you have the same thought of, oh hey,
how
I
good would
wish I
this
could do
be?
this multiplayer. Yeah, I want to do this with friends. I even was saying, I even said one time while I was just pounding somebody's face in, I was just like, this proves why Blade and Sorcery would be so much fun multiplayer.
Yeah,
Because
no, you
like,
said that the other night.
but it's like teased in front of you because like it works for a bit and then it doesn't, and it's like, damn it. And there's some unlockables in this game. You start with, I think the guy's name is Todd. There's some other characters you can lock, some tattoos, some other accessories for each character. You unlock
Yeah,
them
different
by,
jewelry.
yep, by just going in and kicking ass. Or you can just go into the settings option and there's an unlock all button, which is pretty cool because when a game doesn't, when a game's so janky, it's like, are you going to have the patience to unlock everything? No. So it was nice to be able to just click one button and give myself a nice sleeve.
Yeah, and I don't want anybody to think that like we're me in particular. I guess I'm just shitting on it. It's just I'm giving it as far as like what it brings to the table. I'll take 50% of that and say, yeah, that experience was great. The other 50% not so great. But again, when it's fun, it's fun.
Yep.
When I'm playing with you, or it's friggin' fun. We're like dying laughing.
Yeah, this is this and Thrill of the Fight were the two games I bought the first day I got my Quest 2. And the sad thing is I went from Thrill of the Fight to this. So the amount of jank threw me off going from the like that, Thrill of the Fight being my first VR Quest experience, then going to Drunken Bar Fight. I was like, whoa, was not expecting that. Then we went and did it together, and I was, yeah, unfortunate. Yeah, I was eyeing it before I ever even bought the Quest. Like it was part of the series of game. It was on the list of games I had in mind to get, and it's so I had high
So I
hopes.
mean, take away the co-op aspect of it. I'll focus on the positive, I guess, which is the definitely the single player, which is no different than the co-op mode. Just you're playing alone.
Mm-hmm.
Pick where you want to go and
Kick some ass.
just start just start swinging for the fences. I mean, the
And
physics are kind of cool, ragdoll physics, but they're cool.
yeah, they're
You
so
can
silly that
uppercut and right
choke
hook and
slam.
little jabs. So I love going up with the beer bottle and just listening to someone's conversation and then just doing like the smash upside the head, like gangster style. Give me
Yeah.
the money, give me the, or smashing someone's head off the bar counter. Blam,
Yep.
blam.
I took somebody's head last time and I ran it right across the bar and knocked every drink off.
Well, it's
Just
it's
80s
funny too.
movie
It's just
style.
like bleeding sorcery. It's like giving people the tools to be pretty destructive to other people. It doesn't take a lot of arm twisting for people to be like willing to do it.
No, if you just went in and went punch, 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 the game's gonna get. There's no. That's not where the fun is. The fun is in your imagination. And then once you get cozy and nice and comfortable, then oh my god, all hell breaks loose. just like you said, walking up and banging somebody with a beer bottle. I love doing that with like an acoustic guitar, a pool stick, something good. Yep.
Yeah, and you can
Bang.
in the settings you can make everything indestructible too, so you
Yep.
don't have
All
to
the
worry about
weapons.
it like worry about the bottle smashing. But I like that realism effect of like being able to take the mug of beer, or the wine
There's
bottle, or like you said, the guitar.
there's an
Pool cues
endless
are pretty insane.
there's an endless mode too. You just check it on in the settings. So if you're having multiplayer issues like Stratus and I, your best bet is find whichever map you like the most, and so you don't have to deal with any loading or anything like that. Just set endless mode and just go crazy until you're bored.
Yeah, the police station's pretty fun for that because
Yeah.
you got weapons in there that you can fuck with.
And so so when you beat somebody enough, they like crawl out of there. They get up and they crawl. That's how you know
On
that
their
you
hands
know.
and knees, yeah,
Yep. But
escaping for the door.
I don't know if it's a glitch or I don't know if it's part of the game, and I hope it's part of the game. But it seems that there's been people who die when we beat
We
their
killed
ass
some
enough.
people the other night. I mean, they weren't crawling, they weren't moving.
No, they weren't getting up. And there was one guy. The first guy it happened to was when we were in the supermarket. The first time we had played it in the supermarket. And dude, you just went heinous on a dude. And I looked down and he's just laying flat. And like
Motherfucker owe me money.
it won't let me grab him anymore. So I'm thinking it might be a glitch. But like I grab another item and like I poke him with a stick kind of to roll him over. And I roll him over and his eyes and his face and like it was just so mangled. And I was like, dude, he's dead.
Yeah,
He's
you were
dead.
funny. Like, I think he's dead. Like, genuine concern there for a second came out of
And
your
then
mouth.
and then we proceeded to like kill
Can we get
three
banned
more
for that?
people. We proceeded to kill like three more people in the supermarket. I was like, what in the
Yeah.
world? That's why we like the supermarket so much, if you haven't noticed too. Throwing grenades in the police station, they all get up and leave. Supermarket, they fucking stop moving. I'm like,
Dude,
what?
they get the nail gun in the supermarket. You just riddle someone up with nail gun. Tung, 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 tung. I was
Ding
holding
ding
the guy
ding.
by the back of his neck and just lighting him up with. But it's really, I'm not really a bad person either. It's just
No, you
these
give me
games bring it.
these sandbox
These
games.
games bring out the best of the worst of you.
No, it's dude, I I I I like the concept of the game. I like most of the execution. It's just we can't play together, and I feel like that's the best feature. Because, dude, you hear this stuff, it's funny. It's like you're shooting somebody with a nail gun in a supermarket.
Yeah, no, again, I mean, you can play it alone, but it's definitely more fun with. So I mean, it's like the whole world obviously knows my opinion to the co-op side of it. So I'm trying to look for whatever at least
Whatever else there
positive.
is to
Yeah, I mean, because there is some positive to it, especially for its time. If you go back, go back in the time
2019,
machine to when this came out, it's
3
like
years
this was
ago.
some hot shit. This was like I still kind of I don't put it as a must own, but it's really kind of a fun intro into VR for sure because
If
you
there's
can.
ever a VR Hall of Fame, it should probably be in there just for its
Yeah, it's
time
an
and its
OG.
place. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. No, and it had its time and place, and it's really weird because I don't know. When I look at the rating, I'm like a 4. I'm like, damn, what the hell is going on? Maybe it's just our area of the woods. I mean, I don't know, but
But
it's
how many
like,
of those reviews were not 2019, 2020?
yeah, I mean, if you fully dissected everything, but for its time and place, this game was, and it still kind of holds its own.
Yeah, and
Still
it's
on the store. By
as long as
today's
you.
standards, it would be an App Lab game, though.
Oh,
It would have
absolutely.
never come out. It wouldn't have
100%.
been yeah, would have been an app lab for sure.
Or they would have gotten some more Oculus support to get it functional and optimized. Because holy moly, like I said, there's some jank. But as long as you know what you're getting going into it for 16.99, you're getting some jank. But it's cool. There's nothing wrong with some jank. I actually
It's
think
funny, Jank.
VR. I actually think VR is the best, best medium for janky, silly, goofy, just completely outlandish. Yeah, VR is the spot for it, but I don't know. At least if you have a feature, it should probably work.
Yeah, again, I mean, I'm not going to beat a dead horse about it. So, I mean, I'll stick to the other side. Just pretend that they don't advertise co-op. I mean, it'll affect their rating, no doubt. You can't rate it fairly with only certain things functioning, but I mean, it is what it is. I just wish it was more consistent, and I enjoy it for what it kind of is when it does work. But if it worked all the time, then yeah, it's a fun little unwind game.
Let's look at it for what it is. It's a game with 6 different levels, 30 different people to beat up, all kind of modeled after, real life different personalities you
Real
might encounter.
troublemakers.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different interactable weapons. Hell yeah, it's a good unwind game. You can do whatever you want to beat up the bar. You can sit there, just swing haymakers, grab people, throw them, use the environment, use weapons, overly beat them. Just beat them excessively enough. You can just let them leave. You don't have to aim for the
Excessively enough.
kill. You don't have to aim for the kill like me and you do. We were aiming for the
Minor
kill the
love
other night.
taps. Just give them
Yeah.
little love taps.
So it's like, yeah, of course it's a good unwind game. It's designed to be, I think, exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I think for its time, it was some pretty top notch shit. For now, standards have gone up just slightly.
Yeah, and I hope we don't sound like too much haters just because we've had a bad experience
No, we
getting the
bought. I mean,
co-op to work.
we paid for it. We've owned it for more than a year, and we continue to play it in the
Yeah,
hopes that what we have a problem with gets better. So it's like we are continuing to go back to it.
and our frustrations with it, our anger with it, where the multiplayer doesn't work, is because it's good. We want it to work. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was
there.
terrible, we would do it one time and then we'd be like, all right, fuck. Well, who cares?
It's not like it's
But
grayed out and it's never been an option. It's like it's right there.
yeah, we want it so bad.
At least we can do a few. No, it'd be interesting to perhaps talk to the developer specifically about that, because it might be unique to like certain geographical areas. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. So
I
certain
really
models of
don't
the
know.
Quest, who freaking knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
Find out it runs
But,
better on
I mean,
the original Quest than the Quest 2.
It's an old school OG, and it's less than $20. So I mean, in a way, how can you go wrong?
Yeah, I look at it a little bit like Path of the Warrior in the sense that, like, it's what it is for the time, and it's probably still worth it for the money these days. Just for enjoyment. It's silly, it's goofy, and it's fun. Why not?
Yeah.
Drunkn Bar Fight, dude. Just on paper, I love that you can drink the alcohol and it blurs the screen.
Yeah, it makes you a little like,
Ooh, like I said,
especially if
Stone
you
Cold
double
Steve
fist
Austin
them.
them.
Yeah, double fist them, and you'll get extra blurry, and then you can go in and pick the fight while you're blurry if you really want. Be a true drunkard.
I'll usually drink more during the fights too. So it's
It's
unfortunate
like a
because the bar,
Bostonian's dream, right?
right? No,
Is that
yeah,
what you were saying?
yeah,
It's
dude.
like a
Of course, this
Bostonian's
game
dream.
appealed to me. I'm from the East Coast. You might as well call this game Boston VR. It's Drunkn
Right?
Bar Fight. It's like I'm, born in Massachusetts. How could I not want this game? But
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that the bars aren't my favorite locations. I mean, they're still fun. Don't get me wrong. I love being in the bars. Those are probably, for me, it probably goes supermarket, police station, the 2 downstairs bars, the penthouse, and then the alley for like my rankings of favorites. But
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much spot on with that.
but it's too bad there's no alcohol or anything in the supermarket. That, at least that I found, because like, it is fun doing the drinks, but there's no drinks in the police station that I found, or the supermarket. So
No, but you
that
found grenades, and there's like those beanbag guns. I think there's a beanbag shotgun in there. Just blam, just shoot the hell out of people.
yeah.
No, police station's mad cool.
I think dude, when I threw the grenade, that's a hell of a way to start the brawl, because for anybody who's never played this game, it's not like you walk into the environment and right away you're in a fight.
What are you looking at?
Everybody all hostile. You can sit there for as long as you want in a nice
There's
chill.
conversations going on.
Yeah, and you can just chill. You can pick your method of starting chaos. So if you want to go into the police station and just pick a hellacious way to start shit, throw a grenade. That's the perfect.
Yeah, I usually walk over and just slug someone, like just right across the jaw. Whap. And they look at you kind of dumb to begin with, so. But then it's on. It becomes a slugfest. going for weapons. I don't think I've actually ever really died in the game per se. You did the other night, and you turned into like this weird ghost that was flying around beating the shit out of people in like a ghost mode. It was really, really bizarre.
Yeah, it was. I got knocked out. I was being overly silly. I was actually a little embarrassed because the game's pretty easy. You were actually like, you what? Like you couldn't believe I had gotten
Yeah, I saw
beaten.
you. You're like, yeah, I'm laying on the ground, and I look
Yeah,
over, and I'm like, oh my god.
I got clocked from
And then I see
behind.
your guys start like flipping out in the air. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah,
You're
so
like, I'm
even though I
floating.
was even though I was knocked out, I couldn't you can't move your guy, but when you get KO'd, you're able to grab him until you eventually revive. Eventually you'll revive, but you can grab your guy and move him. So
Like
yeah, you
ragdoll your own dead body
yeah, so
or
you were
knocked out
fighting
body.
people and I was like, "Watch this." And I was whacking myself across people. It
Oh, it
was
was
wild.
hysterical. No,
So
that was some funny shit.
the game's going to give you some laughs, especially playing with friends. Like that's not something that you're going to get at a single player. I don't think I would sit there and laugh a bunch in single player, but when we do play
No,
multiplayer and it is working,
no.
we're
Something
dying
wrong with you
laughing.
if you're playing this game alone and you're laughing like that. You're probably a sicko. You know,
Hey, stop, because I laughed and played like that and have had a lot of fun like that with Blade and
Blade
Sorcery,
and Sorcery.
With Gorn.
Yeah,
So,
but you know what? I did, but I was my most sick when I was recording some clips or I was talking to you in party chat, and then
that's true.
it wasn't like I was like, all right, it's Sunday morning, it's
Nobody's going to
7 in the
see this.
morning.
Nobody's.
I'm gonna go into the server here and cut off some arms and I'll beat this. I'll feed him his own foot.
Yeah. And there's no
Gonna
decapitation in this game. Nobody will lose limbs. Nobody will lose a head.
decent
Nobody will
sound
explode.
effects with the punches.
No, no, but there'll be facial damage. There'll be black and bruising. There will be some cuts. The
Yeah,
guy who's dead,
minimal.
like I said, that guy in the supermarket was dead, that first one, his face was mangled. His face was
Yeah,
mangled.
I was laughing my ass off about that one, especially when you went over and checked him out. You're like, dude, my God, look at his face. What'd you do to his
Dude,
face?
you fucked up.
Like he owed me money. That was
Dude,
a money situation going on here.
there's ninja stars in the
Yeah, nunchucks,
in
ninja
nunchucks.
stars,
Oh
knives,
my god.
bottles, big balls, big balls, big like not
Is this
beach
a
balls,
Manscaped
but like
ad?
playground balls, right? Big, nice, smooth balls. No, those big rubber balls that come in a big bin. You can beat the hell out of someone with those. I mean, nail guns. Trying to think of some of the like more far out type weaponry. We've got the
I love
grenades.
I love throwing stuff at people. It's silly. Like
I
throwing a
love
beer bottle,
throwing
for
people
example.
at throw people at people.
The game's just if
The
it
ragdoll effects is I'd say a good portion of the fun of it too. They're
yeah,
not like stiff opponents. They like crumble down and
dude, the dialogue and the noises and that adds to it. It's
or
way
when
more
people are
for
crawling away to the exit and you grab them
Jump
before they can make it to the door. Where the fuck you think you're going? Get back in here. This fight's not over.
on.
And
Sometimes
essentially, all these fights are your fault. So at the end of the day, it's like you were the reason why this whole bar fight happened. So when you're beating the shit out of people, it's like, wow, you're just an asshole because you started this fight. You picked it with somebody first.
I
And
love
it's
how
usually
who
like,
are all these people, all these other people running? Are people calling their friends like, "Yo, there's some fucking motherfucker at the bar
no, and you can
laying
do stuff
everybody
like
out"?
throw a bottle at someone's feet. Don't hit them with it, and they'll look at you. They'll respond to it like, "What are you doing? Why did you do that?" And then you can throw it on someone's foot, and they'll be like, "Hey," put their hands up, and
Then it's
just
on.
depends on, like you said, pick the method that you want to start the fight. Usually, I listen for the most annoying conversation because there's usually one that's like, and they're good with how they did that because
Yeah,
there's
there's
always
so
one in the bunch that you're like, nope, that's the one who's getting. They're eating a knuckle sandwich.
you get to be
Welcome.
that you get to be that asshole at the bar virtually. That's what this game is like. You're that guy who walks in and starts a fight with everyone
Yeah, and your
and
character's
layers
not
out
all
there.
jacked. You're like a skinny little guy.
Yeah, dude, you look at your arm, it's pencil arms. Pencils.
And
I
they send
remember
in some bodybuilders, some like really yoked up steroid like
yeah.
type dudes are gonna come in there. but they'll go down just as easy as everyone else did. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's part of with the with what they're fun at. They're really fun at what they're good at. They're good at
Yeah.
what they're bad at. They're really bad at. You know, they
That's
have
the
a
way
nice
it goes.
equal divide. Yeah, it's a fair equal divide.
The only way I can put it is the game that I want to love. That's
Yeah,
it.
it just doesn't love me back. I want to love it. It doesn't love me back. That's just been the nature of my relationship with it for the past year.
How much do you think the developers were laughing making this one? Like coming up for ideas, getting the voice lines, like, oh man.
I would have liked to have been there the first time that they really like it all came together and they were like, all right,
we're doing this. This is
quote
what we're
unquote
doing.
our finished product. And everyone got to put on that headset for the first time. And I'm sure they played it 4-player and it worked great. They must just had a fucking blast, like piss yourself laughing, funny. Yeah, plus they created all these characters and the voices and the scripts for them. So it's like, yeah, they had a good time, I'm sure. And if they had like no sense of humor, very stiff.
Yeah. Wow, these guys are quite assholes. How dare they talk about my? Hey,
didn't know that those were jokes that we were saying, and we were being very serious in this Drunkn Bar Fight.
Little known fact that I'll throw into the ethos or metaverse or whatever. A goal of mine and yours, besides becoming full-time podcasters, is we'd always love to be voice actors. You know, we'd love to do some voice acting in a game. This would be a great one to throw us into. Just have us little background characters like, oh, I wish the multiplayer in this game worked good.
Someone would definitely want to punch you in the face. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
Definitely.
I'd love to get
my only gripe is really that. So I can't harp on it.
Yeah,
there's and at the end of the day, if someone were like, would you recommend it? I'm like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Definitely would.
It's one of those.
I'm just open disclosure as to what I've discovered in the past year of owning and playing it. That's all.
Yeah, it's
one
of
like
those.
It's been played once and that's it. You know, again, there's a reason it's still around and it came out in 2019. So, what can you do?
So, you want to get into our final thoughts and review and ratings on it? I think we've said quite a bit on it.
Kind of anxious to hear your score on this one.
Yeah, you as well. You know, sometimes we, say some things that bother us a lot, but then the score ends up being pretty high. Or in the case of like Drop Dead, because, we hadn't used our new rating system yet. We love Drop Dead, and then it walked away with a 75. So it's always interesting seeing what the final score with our rating system, creates. But before we get into our rating, I just want to take a moment to give a nice little message from our sponsors, the people who help keep us afloat and help the never-ending journey of one day becoming full-time podcasters. We Save Balls. That is the campaign that Manscaped is doing right now to raise awareness in the month of April for testicular cancer. They've even partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to help raise awareness for testicular cancer.
It's a serious one to raise awareness for, and I think it's overlooked. You want to rattle off that age demographic.
Yeah, not many people know this. They're thinking, I'm young, I'm healthy, my balls smell good. But did you know that testicular cancer is the #1 form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35?
That's alarming.
That's alarming. I know a lot of people who think, oh, I'm young, I'm healthy. No, it might not be the case. Take a peek down there. When you're using your Manscaped products, part of your morning shower routine, take a peek. Make sure everything's healthy.
I couldn't agree more.
And not just in April either. I know this is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, but do it every month, every time you're showering.
Every time you're in that shower, you should give those boys a feel. Make sure everything's feeling like it should.
If you're hearing this ad and you're wondering, well, you know what? I don't know the last time I really took a good peek at my balls. It's time.
It's time. You're overdue.
And use code word Ruff Talk VR at checkout of manscaped.com to save 20% off and free shipping. So not only are you taking care of your balls visually, making sure they're healthy, cancer-free, take good care of them, with some good products too. Also, so yeah, you as well as listeners can also help us on this never-ending quest to become full-time podcasters by subscribing, rating us 5 stars, leaving reviews, joining our subreddit, which you can find in our show notes.
Smash that like button.
Oh yeah,
I always wanted to say
subscribe.
That. I always wanted to say that. Smash that like button.
So yeah, join our
YouTube
subreddit, our
reference.
Discord. Find the links right in the show notes, the episode description for this, and then you can also donate to our podcast directly. If you look in our episode description, you can find a link for the Buy Me a Coffee link. There you can donate, either one time or monthly to the podcast. Like I said, help us put out more high quality content. And other than that, let's get back to our final thoughts and rating. So we have 5 categories these days. We recently changed it. We used to only do gameplay, aesthetics, functionality, and replayability, but it was that drop dead dual strike review. We were sitting there and we're like, we really need a category for value. So now we have a category for value. How worth it is the game? How much value are you getting for the cost that they're asking? So that's our 5th category. We do each 1 to 20, and then the total score of all 5 categories makes up the final score. So starting in gameplay, I'm gonna give this a 15 out of 20. Uh, it's fun. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's silly. The physics are they are what they are. They're not realistic. They're not like Blade and Sorcery, like you play it and it's ragdolly, but you're like, wow, there's something so realistic about it. No, it's over the top ridiculous, but that's part of the appeal of it. The weapons are creative. There's a lot of different enemies. Yeah, gameplay I'm gonna give 15 out of 20. Aesthetics, I'll mimic that. I'm gonna give it 15 out of 20. It's nothing that's gonna knock your socks off. It's also nothing incredibly bad. I would have loved to hear people's thoughts on the graphics of this game in 2019 when it came out on the Quest, but yeah, I'm gonna give them a 15 out of 20. Functionality, hey, look, if the only complaint that we've had on this is the ability to run multiplayer rooms and and do more than 1 or 2 rounds if you're lucky, then obviously I'm gonna nail them pretty good on functionality. I'm gonna give them a 10 out of 20. And I was even debating going 5 out of 20 because that multiplayer is it's the game killer for us. It goes from, instead of us playing this game for hours upon hours and it being one of our most played games, it's silly and we're laughing all the time. Yeah, we'll pick it up and we'll do a couple rounds until it frustrates us a whole bunch because it stops working. We'll give it a couple more tries. We usually go through a little phase where we'll go through a couple days of really trying it, and it's like it's so frustrating because we want it to work and it doesn't, and then we give up and we move on. So technical difficulties are what stops my playtime with this. So I'm gonna give them a 10 out of 20, and it could even be a 5 out of 20 if I was in a bad mood, but I'm feeling good today, so 10 out of 20. Replayability, same thing, 10 out of 20. And that's another thing. It kind of goes with functionality. If it worked better and we could play more co-op, man, their replayability would go up. But right now, the replayability is pretty much limited to the single player, or if you want to play with randoms for a couple rounds. But yeah, geez, 10 out of 20 for replayability. Unfortunately, and value, 10 out of 20 as well. Same thing. This one, I probably could give them a 15 out of 20 because it's pretty worth the dollar in terms of content there is. But yeah, my playtime, the amount of time that I invested in this game, which is a big part of, that final score of the value for me, my playtime in it gets cut so short because of the lack of co-op. So unfortunately, the technical difficulties kind of hit them hard across. It really leaves a different feel in the game than it probably should have, but I'm going to give them 10 out of 20 on the value as well. So 15, 15, 10, 10, 10. I'm going to give them a 60 out of 100. And you know what? It's like you said, just to close up my thing, would I suggest buying it? If, hey, I'm new to a quest, should I get this game? Yeah, fuck it. Why not? But just a heads up of what to expect, and just to be honest, that's what you're getting. But I would recommend it.
Okay. No, I mean, yeah, I mean, I've spent a year, so it's a 21, so it came out even 2 years before I owned it, I think, or maybe a year after I owned it. So that's pretty freaking amazing that it's still standing its ground by today's standards. I would think at the time it was probably like, holy shit, this is the next best thing. Hence why it was, right to store. There was no App Lab back then or anything like that. Gameplay, I enjoy it. It's fun. I mean, it delivers where it's supposed to for the single player. I can't say anything bad. Occasionally, maybe something will get a little wonky, but I give it a 15 out of 20 for gameplay. Aesthetics, I almost exactly like you said. I mean, it's not the worst. It's not the best. Kind of holds its own for what it does. They've got some nice detail going on with some of the little things like the guitars and the cue balls and some of that shit. But I'd give them a 15 on aesthetics. Functionality, well, some of the jankiness with the arm, again, not a deal killer, but that coupled with the fact that a big portion of the experience, which is co-op, doesn't seem to hold its own for us. So I'm forced to give them a 10 because I figure, hey, it's at least half the game is not being really enjoyed like it should. Replayability, got to give them a 10. I mean, I definitely would have gone 15 if I knew the co-op worked better, because you and I would be more prone to be like, hey, let's go in there. We'll go into the store and we'll beat some ass for a couple minutes just to loosen up before we play another game, because we always love to play a couple of games before we get into whatever it is we're really trying to get into deep. So replayability a 10. So for value, I mean, I'm actually going to give them a 15. I'm going a little bit higher only because it's an under $20 game. If it were the $14.99, there'd be no debate in my head. It would have been instant, but it's not like it's not worth it. So this is a weird example where our scores, our new rating system probably just hurt a game overall.
Yeah,
Because
and
I come out with a 65.
I
Where
easily could have given 15 for value too. Even while I was saying it, I was like, meh, it is worth it. It's just I'm pretty butthurt
well, and
about
I
the
only say
co-op.
that because it's like, again, it's been over a year. I mean, I say a year. It's probably been a year and a half now. And we still go back to it. So it's like,
We want it.
how can I say it's not a good value if, and they did do the update. They did the police station update, not too long ago. So they're still like seemingly doing stuff to it.
Yeah. No, 15 for value is probably more fair than my 10, to be honest with you. Because it like in the end, would I recommend it?
So
Yeah.
then you up yours to 70.
Yeah. 65 it would be because I'm a 60 right now.
How are you? I'm a 65.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And it kind of makes me sad because it sounds like, oh shit, you gave it a 65. I don't want to buy that. But if you just want some meaningless fun,
yeah.
take your garden serious. Your guardian needs to be taken real serious because you can
If
get
you're
really carried
expecting
away with like holding somebody and standing over them and getting all good fellas on them.
if you're expecting to play with a friend, just expect some headaches with it.
Yeah, the potential exists that might not happen. So it's like when you and I go into playing it, our expectation is actually it's not going to work for us. And when it does, we're super excited. And when it works more than twice, we start to get really excited. And after 3 times, we couldn't tell you what it feels like. And that's just where the personal aggravation, it might not be that way for other people at all. They might be like, dude, I play with 3 of my friends every single night, never have a problem. So, I mean, again, that's why it could just be something locale related or who knows? I mean, I don't know. But, hey, is what it is. 60 and a 65.
So, not
Drunkn Bar Fight. Go have a couple of brewskis, start some trouble,
bad.
de-stress. Yeah, definitely a little de-stress.
And if you've been enjoying this episode, like I said before, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, drop a written review on Apple, 5-star on Spotify, honestly, whatever the hell you listen to podcasts on, 5 stars there. That works for me. Subscribe, all that fun stuff. And also, don't forget to check out our subreddit. We're dropping some good fun giveaways coming up. So definitely gonna want to
there's some interesting stuff coming up in the future.
Yeah,
real quick.
Some good stuff in the works. So definitely go check out the subreddit. Go check out the Discord. Check us out on social media and stay tuned. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Check us out next week.
Take care.